My name is Lauren Lucurcio, and I will be talking about open access and Creative Commons. These two topics are connected to one another because they provide materials that are accessible to anyone. I created my logo and my banner with the application Pixlr. Pixlr is a free version of Photoshop that includes tools such as smudge, blur, and any other drawing tools. To create my icon, I took an earth image from Google and used layers in order to add a music symbol, a cursor, and a magnifying glass. Defined by Wikipedia, open access is a mechanism by which research outputs are distributed online free of cost or any other access barriers. Open access ensures that everyone has access to quality information. Defined by Wikipedia again, Creative Commons is a nonprofit organization devoted to expanding the range of creative works available for others to use. I cited my sources throughout my website, so when you click on the source number, it will bring you to the website in which I got my information from. The website looks from a creative perspective. I used tags for bold, italics, and to be able to link, which is seen here. So, as well as using HTML in my website, I also used CSS. HTML is hypertext markup language, which is based on the content, while CSS, Cascade Styling Sheets, is the styling, such as the navy blue, in which I made the heading. For this prompt, I will discuss the history that led to the discovery of the innovations. Before the phrase open access was actually coined, the idea of providing free online access was used for years. Serials crisis is a term that refers to subscription costs in exchange for public access. Costs increased at the end of the 1990s, and with this, so did the rise of the internet, in where people began to post things online for free for anyone to see. Support for free available content for academics skyrocketed because of the serials crisis. Open access is to provide accessible academic work without the price of fees. Creative Commons enables free distribution of otherwise copyrighted work. Artists will be able to create music, photos, and any other materials in which their sole purpose is to be used by anyone. Creative Commons was founded in 2001 by the Center for the Public Domain, which was a charity founded in 1999, providing online legal resources. For this prompt, I will be explaining a harmful effect. A harmful effect of open access is that the price barrier is shifted from regular people to researchers who are now trying to get their work published. This means that they choose whether to submit their work to a name brand publication or to open access. Prestige can be an issue because some researchers place importance on brand name journals in order to increase chances of gaining tenure and obtaining funding for future research. Critics of Creative Commons say that licenses are vague for the average user. Licenses are long and complex, written by lawyers with about 2,000 words per license. This is hard for the average person to interpret and understand without getting scrutinized. Both open access and Creative Commons have impacted society. Both are similar in which it provides work to be able to be seen from a wider audience. Open access impacts young scholars or students, while Creative Commons impacts young filmmakers or artists. Having tools for people to build knowledge upon is the benefits of both. This video explains the impact as well. This is my video.
How does this affect us in everyday life? Open access and Creative Commons are beneficial because they provide information or documents with no license limitations. This will provide students with help being able to take advantage of academic writing for free, rather than having to pay for a subscription. Open access and Creative Commons provide accessible materials in order to teach or to aid in creating.
More and more people are giving their work to Creative Commons. The rise of the internet has increased the amount of works from 50 million in 2006 to 882 million in 2014, as seen in this graphic below. This has had a significant impact on society because people now have access to materials in which they can express themselves creatively. Other than computer science, these innovations have impacted education with the Open Educational Resource License. This license provides teaching, learning, and research materials. Because of this license, expensive textbooks are not an issue because they can always be accessed online. Teachers are given the ability to adapt lessons instead of using old information. Information is attainable in locations where schools do not have top-notch districts. In class, we created Google surveys to our peers. I put basic questions such as gender, age, familiarity with these innovations, and the impacts that they think it might have on their everyday life. This is an example of some of the answers I received when asking about how has these innovations impacted your everyday life. Important answers were, it gives us information from experts and credible sources. With this data I received, I worked in Google Data Studio in order to create a visualization. This is my visualization consisting of pie charts, bar graphs, and scorecards. A user interacts with open access the same way they would with any type of directories. There are many types of different categories such as medicine, engineering, biology, and many more. A user interacts with Creative Commons in different ways. If you are looking to get your work out there, there are different types of licenses that determine what is appropriate for you. Here is a list of different types of licenses with different factors involved. If someone is looking to use others' work, then they would interact with it differently. People can search for images, music, and more. People can access the official Creative Commons website or use advanced searches on websites like YouTube. See, now this brings us to a search bar in which we can search for, let's say, a puppy. There are many different pictures we can choose from, as well as different factors like file type, image type, and the sources that it's from. The big idea of abstraction that this is related to is computing is a creative human activity that engenders innovation and promotes exploration. Open access and Creative Commons both facilitate the exploration and creation of knowledge as they provide building blocks for people to use. Whether it's for academic or creative purposes, something larger can come out of both open access and Creative Commons. The innovations consume data and produce it into something else. With Creative Commons, the situation is slightly different. Creators can put their photographs in which act as input for those looking for artifacts. For example, when people gather an HTML link to embed a picture, such as a picture of a puppy, onto their website, the picture itself acts as the input and the completed website would be the output, the final result thanks to Creative Commons. I also described a privacy concern with Creative Commons. One concern related to Creative Commons is that if you put out your work, it can be used by anyone for anything. You have no control over who will reuse your work after you put it out into the internet. Lastly, this is my references page. Here we have the reference number, the author, the URL, and the year of publication. The most significant source in my project was written by Sarah Conti. She wrote about the difference between open access versus traditional journals. The concept of open access is relatively easy to understand, but why people might choose open access as opposed to name brand journals for researchers to submit their work into might be hard to understand. This is an example of how I structured the references. I used headings and codes in order to structure it in the way that there are different columns. Thank you for listening to my video lecture.